Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7, and this is going to be my review for episode 18 for this season, otherwise entitled Lost Canary. And yeah, Arrow's finally back after its, I think like 2-week break it was on. I think Flash was on 3, Arrow was on 2, but yeah, we're finally back. So last episode we sort of dived into what happened with Emiko and how she got involved with it. Was that last episode? I think it was last episode. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last episode. Yeah, let's just say it was last episode. Some stuff with Emiko, and then Laurel is basically #exposed at the end of the episode. And we're like, oh, okay, well, Laurel's sort of screwed going into the next episode, and that's where we pick up. Now, I must say, that opening scene with Laurel, when she just walks into that level of a building and stuff, and just starts kicking some ass, I thought that was a pretty badass opening, especially with... look, I'm not the biggest fan of dubstep music, but that music suited the scene. I thought it was, like, the music to the scene was really cool. And it even sort of, like, synced up sometimes when, like, Laurel was punching or hitting someone. It sort of matched the beat of the song, so I thought that was pretty cool. And the whole reason she's there is to meet up with this old ally or old acquaintance of hers known as Shadow Thief, who had, been involved with the whole Diaz thing. So it's someone that Laurel met with her whole Diaz escapades back last season that we just didn't meet, and as you'd expect, we didn't really, whenever we saw Laurel doing something bad last season, it was with Diaz, so we didn't really get to meet like the side people over there, but Shadow Thief was one of them. Now this is going to be a recurring theme in this video, at least in present day. Dinah wasn't her best episode, so Dinah's mad at Laurel for being a killer, when I'm thinking to myself, when did we first meet Dinah? Oh yeah, season 5, what was she doing? Killing people. Once again, I think this happened last year as well, and it was the same story. It was like, is there no progression with Dinah in present day where she realizes that she was in the exact same position as Laurel, going around killing people? You know what I mean? We'll bring it up again later in another conversation, but at that time I was just thinking like, what? Anyway, let's just move on. But they do reiterate that Emiko actually framed Laurel, which, wasn't surprising in the slightest. Get the ball moving, if you want to call it. But we actually do find that Laurel was actually being pretty smart. If she's going to go back to being quote-unquote evil, she may as well use the resources when she was quote-unquote good to her advantage. So she's using all the resources from the DA's office and stuff to go about her Black Siren activities or escapades or journey or missions, we'll call them. Anyway, she's using them, so I thought that was pretty smart of her. And one of the highly anticipated things going into this episode was that we had a returning character from the past on Arrow, that being Sara Land. She came and jumped off the Wave Rider for an episode and came over to Arrow, which was pretty cool. Having her return was really cool, but also having Laurel beat her didn't really make too much sense. I was like, what? Because this Laurel at least, like the Black Siren one, like her best ability is her metahuman powers. And Sarah's a League of Assassins trained assassin. She should easily beat Laurel. I guess the understanding could be that Laurel was going hard out trying to defeat Sara. Sara wasn't doing that. So maybe that's an explanation there, but I thought that was a bit weird that Laurel beat her. But I guess that's, if they had Laurel beaten then the rest of the episode wouldn't happen. So I guess they had to have Laurel beat Sara. But yeah. But we also had another returning character come back into this episode, but he was introduced this season, that being Kodiak, one of the longbow hunters. I was like, oh crap, when he showed up, because everyone's been saying we're the longbow hunters, and well, the explanation is because they were just there because they were working with Diaz, and once Diaz was dealt with, there's no need for the longbow hunters. But one of them come back in. There's like speculation, okay, he's linked with Emiko's murder and stuff, or Emiko's mother's murder, might I say? Yeah, which is the case early on, and then it's just revealed that it's Dante, which isn't that surprising. I think we're saying it was either my trailer breakdown for this episode, or maybe last episode, or a review from like the past 2 or 3 episodes, where we're saying that it seems that Emiko is playing a game, but also Dante is playing a game, and the Ninth Circle's playing a game early on, where they're probably the ones that did either straight out commit the murder of Emiko's mother, or they've just played a hand in it. Now, the reasoning for that is, I guess we'll find out in the next couple of episodes, but there might be something that we find out where Emiko was sort of not 100% committed to the Ninth Circle, which wouldn't surprise me because we know how close she was with her mother. So if she's not if she's got her mother in her life, she's never going to be 100% committed to the Ninth Circle. So maybe Dante was like, well, we've got to fix that. She's a very good entity to have on our side. So they went ahead and killed her mother, but did it in a way where it doesn't really, and then they allowed her to go do her thing with which you investigate the murder, which if they're supporting it, it sort of takes a bit of scent off them in regards to them maybe being the ones that did it. Because Emiko's, she's not dumb, so we actually know she's pretty smart. So if they're able to throw her scent off a bit and actually pretend that they're helping her, then she might think, wouldn't grow any suspicions that the Ninth Circle actually had a part in her mother's death. But I think in the next few episodes, that might start to creep out and she'll actually find out the truth. And once again, we come back to a bit with Dinah just being a straight up hypocrite. Straight up hypocrite. Because earlier this season, it was important to remember that Dinah was one of the people who was like blocking Laurel out of Team Arrow. Like the only one really letting Laurel in was Felicity. And I thought that paid off in this episode where Felicity was the one that was able to get through to Laurel. But Dinah's one of the people that's blocking Laurel out from really getting involved with the team and being a hero. But what if Team Arrow had done the same, where the Team Arrow, blocked out Dinah and just let her keep doing what she was doing? She would have kept on killing. It was so stupid. Dinah's writing, I know people said that in the past couple of episodes it's been a bit, how you going, not that good. But this episode, it was next level silly. It was bad writing. It wasn't just writing to make things happen. It was writing where I think anyone watching the show just thinks to themselves, this literally makes no sense. And yes, Felicity does call her out for it. But it's just like, it's too obvious. It's something where like Felicity figures it out and it's like, oh, okay, Felicity's proven her wrong with everything and maybe some of us wouldn't have been able to do that. Everyone watching that has half a brain is going, oh yeah, well why is Dinah saying this stuff? It's so stupid. So Dinah was a really hard character to watch in the present day storyline in this episode. And even the payoff at the end, I just thought it wasn't really worth it because she was just so annoying early on. And I thought the episode was really strong outside of Dinah, which was really frustrating. Now, I did like the fact that we did go to Quentin's grave. The first altercation was a bit of a Laurel saying, you're wasting your time. And so the first one wasn't that good. The second one was good, though, after everything happens. And, but we'll talk about that in a second. But what happens, essentially, in a second. But having the Laurel and Sara relationship was good. I just love having Katie Cassidy and Katie Lotz share the screen together because even when on the show, sometimes it wasn't that prevalent, when Katie was a regular or Katie Lotz was a regular on Arrow. Like a lot of the time was with like Team Arrow or Stephen Amell or Oliver Queen, might I say. So yeah, it was good to have them share scenes together, like just them two, because, I like their relationship. Now, unsurprisingly, we do get that second altercation with Laurel when she's still evil and she changes sides. Like that's not surprising. And then we all knew that was going to happen. It just mattered like when and where it happened specifically, but I did think like it was cool that Shadowheath was going to come behind Sara, Felicity, and Dinah and potentially kill all of them. And Laura went, no, not going to happen. And screams at them. The only issue, and I think that a lot of people would have noted this, and I even mentioned it in my trailer breakdown because a lot of people brought it up then as well. Why is Felicity, as a pregnant woman, going out in the field and risking her life? It doesn't make much sense, but I guess it's Arrow, it's just TV, so we should just ignore it. But I guess if you are going to point out an obvious, like, head-scratching moment, that's probably one of them. I did like how Felicity went Birds of Justice, obviously referring to Birds of Prey. This essentially was a Birds of Prey episode, but they're not able to use the name Birds of Prey, I guess, because the movie's being made. Typical DC issue, but I thought that was a nice little touch there, and Sara goes, oh yeah, it sounds decent, but obviously they want to work on it. Now, going into this episode, we had a feeling it was Katie Cassidy's last episode for the season, or at least for a while. Now, we know she's coming back for the finale and season 8, and we're wondering, okay, well, how are they going to do that? So, for the rest of the season, up until the finale, she's actually going to Earth 2. She's going back home. Once again, issues there, because isn't she like a criminal there, unless maybe because of Zoom being taken out, that whole regime is fixed, and maybe she wouldn't be targeted as much. I don't know. I guess she's given the Black Canary suit by Felicity, so maybe she's wearing the Black Canary suit in public most of the time, and being a bit undercover outside of that, it wouldn't really matter too much. So yeah, Laurel on Earth 2 will become the Black Canary by the looks of it, and I won't spoil stuff for, I guess I just said she's back for the finale, I guess you can figure out what role she's coming back in in the finale, or coming back as in the finale. But yeah, I did think that was a nice moment. You can argue it was rushed, but yeah, but I still liked it. But now let's jump into the flash forwards. As always, when there's flash forwards, we leave until the end of the episode. So we start off the flash forwards by seeing Zoe and Mia hiding out on the run from one of those AI things. So they're actually up and running now. That we started seeing in the Star City 2040 episode. Hard to tell. Are they people or are they robots? Are they people? Are they like soldiers that have like a helmet that just helps them track people, or are they AI? Because I think earlier on they said they were AI because like the Archer program, but they never really bring it up again. They also refer to them as like a dude and stuff like that. So hard to tell. One of the helmets is taken off towards the end, and I don't think we see a head. So I'm guessing they're robots. Let me know in the comment section down below. But essentially all the hideouts and stuff of the Canary gang are being taken down. We find out I think the numbers were 10 Canary are dead and 5 are still missing and, all killed by these Archer AI things. So obviously Dinah in the future is like, oh, well, what's happening? We're screwed. And throughout this episode, Mia was just like a bit standoffish. The Mia character, I think, needs to be worked on, especially if they decide to spin off this future stuff. Hopefully it's worked on. Because the character's a bit hit and miss throughout the show. But she goes out on her own, basically disregards Dinah's suggestions, and she gets into some trouble. She's gonna die. So Mia's basically like, I'm gonna die. And then who saves her? It's future Laurel as the Black Canary with, was it white hair? Was it her natural white hair? Or was she wearing like that season 3 Laurel wig? I think it was meant to be, it was dark, so it was hard to tell the exact color. I'm gonna say it was just, white or grey hair, like old lady Laurel hair. But, she looked pretty cool. She had like a different sort of getup. I think her suit was a bit different, just a bit tattered, I guess, to, be with the future. She had some people next to her, some Canary gang members as well, I'm guessing. So that's really cool. And obviously that just basically, I guess, it just says that Laurel ends up coming back to Earth 1 anyway as the Black Canary and lives on into the future. So I'm excited to see where that goes in future episodes as well. But overall, I thought this episode was fairly decent. I saw a lot of people complaining, saying it was average and stuff. For me, I liked it because it pushed that Laurel stuff forward and pushed stuff going into the future, not only in the future in regards to the timeline, but the future of this season as well. Got some stuff, some reveals about Dante as well. As I said, my biggest issue was just Dinah's writing. It was just pretty poor. Like, let's be completely honest. It wasn't even good writing to make a character unlikable so there's redemption there. It was just bad writing where you can just point out the faults with it. But apart from that, I didn't really have much wrong with the episode. I thought it was a strong episode for Arrow to return from its break. Next episode, looking forward to it. Don't necessarily know exactly what's going on. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go forward with in regards to what is revealed in this episode. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on the episode. What did you love? What did you hate? What did you like? What did you dislike? And everything else in between. Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.